like an oven.
They should come away. Yeah.
So it's going to get wild, man. It's going to begin by getting wild with the people, and then eventually the missiles are going to be shot off. And this place is going to burn. And it's going to be so hot that people are going to disintegrate while they stand up on their feet.
Yeah.
It's going, brother.
Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, shall be stubble.
Yeah, that time is coming, approaching. And that's going to happen during the Third World War. We've already experienced World War I, World War II. Now we're going to experience the Third World War. This is what this is talking about. Okay? So, again, when it's all going to begin with the people are going to react and respond to the violence, right? Because the government is going to bring the violence to them, but it's first going to begin. Well, really, let me correct myself once again. It's going to start with the people, because the people are going to be pretty much tossed into the corner with this whole Delta variant thing and the food supplies, not entering into the stores, shortage of food. The whole, all of that stuff is going to upset the people. They won't be able to get access to their goods and stuff, right? So in other situations, it's going to provoke the people to respond to violence, and then the government is going to get involved and respond just like how the people are going to respond, but more so because they have all of the armory and the technology and the guns. So once it gets to that point, then the Third World War is going to lift off. The missiles are going to start flying from one end to the other end. That's what this world has in store for it, in this reality. And like I said about how people are in their own heads, in their own bubble mind, right? It doesn't matter if you're in your own mind. What matters is what reality is going to tell you right in front of your face, whether you want to accept it, believe it or not. Go on, brother. Because you may say, oh, you're talking trash, you're talking rubbish. As they said years ago, when we was coming out with this information, a lot of people was like looking at us like we had 7 heads on our shoulders.
And 10 horns.
People were, giving us the middle finger a lot because they didn't like what we were saying, and they thought that we were just nutcases. Now, it don't seem so far-fetched anymore.
That's right.
Now it's got to be, okay, this thing got to seem real, because I'm seeing a whole lot of information on my phone when I go on the internet and other places. Yeah. So it's looking like these nutcases could actually be right.
That's
with
right.
the robes on.
That's vindication.
Yeah. And you know what that's proven? That's proven that we are the men of the Lord.
That's right.
Before it was already proven. Okay? Because I'm telling you, when all hell breaks loose, all the Israelite groups out there and all of you different guys that were scoffing and scorning, you're going to be reminded of the men of Great Millstone. You're going to be reminded of what we've been saying. It's going to hit home then. And then you're going to be calling on the Lord, but the Lord ain't going to hear you. That's in Matthew's, the 7th chapter.
I got one for you.
Okay? Go on, brother.
Well, by Baruch 4 and...
And if you can, brother, if you can read that to me again, Zephaniah.
Come on.
You're going out.
Baruch 4 and 31 says, miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall.
Yeah.
Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons.
Yeah.
For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad at thy fall, so she shall be grieved for her own desolation.
Yeah. And in entirety, that's referring to the nation, because the whole nation of Israel, they ain't right, man. The 2/3 of our people ain't right. And the majority of our people, if they had the chance to shut us up, they would actually do it, just like how they did Yahushua. They was given the chance to save Yahushua from being condemned by the Romans, but they actually wanted them to be condemned on the cross, which that was all prophesied anyway. And then they let an actual criminal go. Okay? They wanted to see an actual criminal go and escape the judgment, but this is a man that did no criminal works against the Roman system, or against the system in Israel, which was basically governed by the Roman system. I forgot the guy's name, man.
Herod?
Herod?
Barabbas. The guy who they let go.
Yeah, Barabbas. That's
Barabbas,
it.
yeah.
Barabbas. Come. That's what I was thinking about. Go on, bro.
Right, Malachi 4 verse 1 again. For behold, the day shall come that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, shall be stubble.
Right.
And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
Yeah. So they that have done wickedness shall be burned up, and they shall, what is it, stand upon their feet, and they shall disintegrate, roughly paraphrasing
Yeah.
what you just said there. So that's going to be the judgment of those that have sinned against the Heavenly Father, those that have not repented. That's why if there's any time in the world to repent, the time is to repent now.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
If there's any
Wow.
time, this is the time, brothers and
Wow.
sisters out there, to take this truth seriously. Because you don't want to get caught up in the fires, man. Because this shit's going to burn. This earth is going to burn so hot that you're going to literally disintegrate and you're going to die without you even realizing it. It's going to be so hot, you're not going to even feel it. Okay? Or the Lord may even put you in a situation where, put you in a certain state of mind where you wind up feeling the heat.
Yep.
All of that heat you're going to feel. So this thing, man, I'm telling you, this is why we do what we do. Like, we don't come out here looking like the way that we look for no reason. Because we fear the Lord because we know the Lord is getting ready to bring on his earth. And we do not, under any circumstances, want no part of that whatsoever.
Precept.
Go on, brother.
Zechariah 14 verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Right.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Right.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes. Go on.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Yeah. So in order for that to happen, that would have to be about what? Because of the nuclear missiles, the ICBM nuclear missiles. World War III is going to definitely take place. There's no other fire that can disintegrate people while they stand upon their feet, and their eyeballs are dissolved, and their eye holes, man.
Yep.
And their tongue. There's nothing that can disintegrate a man with that. There's no other fire rather than nuclear fire. Only nuclear fire can do that. Only nuclear fire can do that. You know, so all of this stuff that we've been saying for the past, how many years we've been in this truth, it's going to be hitting them streets real soon, man. And as well as this famine thing, that's going to come around soon. Yeah, so we can go back to what you had before, brother.
Back in Ezra's?
Yeah. To verse 6.
Come on.
Brother Kush, you guys remember the that movie Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yes.
You remember the time when he said, when they open the ark, and he said, do not open your eyes.
Yeah.
And you saw that man, one of the wicked men, his eyes just melting in his eyes, and he went, ah! Right. And his tongue is melting, and oh man, it was really looked good though, you know what I mean? But yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That shows you they got that from the scriptures.
They do, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same way, don't look back. It's the same way he said, don't open your eyes.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's the same kind of, you know? Because it's all spiritual. When they open the ark, all those spirits are coming out. Mm-hmm. You see?
Yeah. So there's going to be a great sacrifice in the fire. And it's going to burn, man. I'm telling you. Go on, brother.
Right. Back in 2nd Ezra 16, I think I was in.
Nah, it was 15.
Oh, 15.
Yeah, go. Yeah, 15 verse 5.
The water. 2nd Ezra 15 verse 5 once more says, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Yeah. So we're approaching that time. Once people have fulfilled all of their wickedness, which they've been seduced into doing, then the Lord is going to respond and react to the people's evil and wickedness. That's why this nuclear destruction is going to come and hit the earth. And as well as prior before that ultimate plague comes around, you're going to have the famines. And the famines is what's going to take a lot of people out. And that's in 2nd Ezra. I believe it's the same. I think it's in chapter 16. It talks about that. Let me see.
Yes, I've got it. 2nd Ezra 16:22.
Okay, yeah, let's go and get that.
Right, it says 2nd Ezra 16:22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Right, so the others that escape the hunger, the sword shall destroy. And what is the sword? The sword is what they're actually putting people under. That's the word. Putting people under to take, which is the Jews. Right, so that's one form of the sword, because the term sword in the scriptures, it just simply means to lay waste. And with this thing that they're telling people to go under, that's going to, and it's not just a very few people that they're telling to take, it's millions of people.
Yep.
So if millions of people have already taken it, what's that going to do? That's going to lay waste millions of souls back to the spiritual realm, right there and then. So that's the sword, from the Hebrew word korab, which means to lay waste. So even with this zine, they're laying waste. They're gonna lay waste dozens of people, and people are gonna just drop dead. And you watch wintertime coming around, and as well as what we was just reading as well about how the sky, the price of gas is gonna skyrocket.
Yeah,
and the homes go, and the homes go cold. Inflation, right? People gonna die even on that.
Yeah.
You see? So Esau's got all kind of stuff ready. He's got the he's got the juice, and as well as he has other variations of the sword too, coming his way. Go on, brother.
If I may, if you take a long sword, like a broadsword or something, and you cover it in poison, and you cut someone with it, and they get poisoned, you cut them with a sword, right?
Yeah.
All Esau's using is a mini sword,
Yeah.
and it's got the poison in it, so it's still a sword.
Same sword.
Yeah.
Same sword.
That's all he's doing. Go
Yeah, I
on,
think
brother.
that's in one of the chemistry. That's one of the images. You see, like it's like a serpent.
Wrapped around it.
Yeah,
I
wrapped
think
around
they
that.
called it the Caduceus, something like that.
That mini sword. Yeah. So he's always ready with his sword, you know. So we got to be ready.
Yeah.
I got one. Lamentations 4:21 says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz.
God.
The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked."
So they're going to be drunken in the curses. The cup represents the curses. And when they see what we've been saying come to pass, because you got a lot of Edomites that know about the Israelites, and they've heard our words, and they're actually going to see all of this come to pass. When it does come to pass, though, that's going to be the beginning of the curse of the nation of Edom. Because as we go back to the scriptures, as we just read in Ezra, it says that the Lord will allow them to fulfill their hurtful works.
Yep.
And then once he allows them to do that, or should I say, it doesn't say that, but it says that their hurtful works were fulfilled. And afterwards, the Lord is not going to hold his tongue no more as touching their wickedness.
Yeah.
So more in particular, this is talking about Esau, but we can also include our people too, because most people in the world have been seduced into being evil, to doing all kinds of wickedness. I mean, we could talk about sodomy, we could talk about drinking blood, we could talk about indulging in sorcery and witchcraft, all kinds of evil, and evils that we haven't even seen that people do. People are doing. So it's going to come a time where, when all of that's fulfilled, in the time that the Lord has set, once they fulfill their wickedness in the time set, then that's when the Lord is going to respond. And this is why the plagues are going to start coming real soon. It's gradually coming. Go on, brother.
You finished yet? Alright, so back in 2nd Ezra, I was reading 16:22. But for all these things, sorry, it's like 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine,
Right.
and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Shall the sword destroy. And the ultimate sword is going to be what? The intercontinental ballistic missiles. Because you got a lot of people that are still here because they didn't take the you-know-what. So if, they escaped this, now, but when it's all said and done, I don't mean to say now, but eventually, when the time presents itself, when these nations get geared up and they start shooting the missiles up and everything, these same folks that are not in the truth, that have escaped the hunger, they're going to be taken by the nuclear destruction. They're going to have a missile with the name on it, and that missile is going to be aimed directly on top of their heads.
That's right.
Boom. No more.
And it says,
Back in the spiritual realm. Go on, brother.
it's like it says 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung.
Right, because no one's going to be able to dig on the earth and shove those bodies in the earth. So you're just going to have bodies laying out. So this is a world we're being prepared for, brothers. We're preparing for a world that's unthinkable. Okay, a kind of environment which will take place, and this is just going to be what's coming down the pike, man, is going to be more of a disaster since there was a time and a place before, man. That's in the book of Daniel, chapter 12. If you can, brother. Yeah.
It's going to even amaze us, much
It's gonna
less.
amaze us.
Imagine, we know what is coming.
Yeah.
We can sort of visualize it, but you can imagine, Elder, when it comes, it's
Yeah.
going to be, we're going to be amazed, like, wow, the Most High is is bad.
Yeah, he's bad. Yeah.
Bad, bad, bad.
Yeah.
Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was, since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, and everyone that shall be found written in the book.
Yeah. So like I was saying, like I was struggling to say, the times that we're coming into is going to be more disastrous than the times prior. If you thought the time of Masada 70 AD was bad, you ain't seen shit yet. If you thought that
Slavery was bad.
what's that, brother?
Slavery.
Slavery was bad. They got shit on that.
Nothing.
The flood.
The flood.
Yeah.
The conquering of the conquering of the Babylonians towards the Israelites. That ain't going to be nothing, man. If you actually read about the times that we're coming into, all of those events are going to pile in comparisons, combine together with what we're going to experience. Jacob's trouble, but even in that time, shall we be delivered.
That's right.
So that's why we're going to have to just go through that rumble. And don't get afraid, don't get scared, don't get taken out, because every brother's faith is going to be tested. Like the brother said that even though we know that all of this is coming, it's still going to tremble us, because it's going to be something that no one has ever seen before.
Yeah.
Going out.
If I may though, just looking at like the events that have taken place over the past few years, we're laughing at that, and that should be a sign that, hang on a minute, we've got the right mindset to cope with what's coming. Because like for example, you was talking about the volcanoes that might burn till December. I'm smiling about that.
Of course you're smiling,
If I was
brother.
back in the world, I'd be like, oh no, all those poor people, blah blah blah. But now we have to understand it. Look, man, this is Yahweh's judgment, so we've got to be down with it. Like in the prayer, what does it say? Thy Father which art in heaven, thy will be done.
Yes.
So we have to be in line with Yahweh's will. It's not about what we want, and we've done that, and that's why we're able to smile, you know, at all these calamities, man.
Yeah. Because you've come to accept it. Once you come to accept what the Father's will is, then there's no reason to be upset and depressed and stressed out, because it's already written and it's going to come to pass. So even if you do go against it, all you're going to do is stress yourself out, bug yourself out, and you're going to wind up going crazy. So we ain't got no choice but to go right along with it. And if we're men of God, we're going to go with the plans of God himself.
Yes.
As we call him, Yahweh. But he's going to send his son Yahushai down here to, add insult into injury and deliver us, man.
Yep. If I may, that also shows that we're not offended by Yahushai and his word.
Exactly.
Because we're completely in line with it.
Yep.
But those who can't get down with this truth, they find some aspect, somewhere in the scriptures to be offended by, and that proves that they're not of the elect. So it's like, that's like a subtle confirmation in itself that we are the hopeful elect.
Yeah, I got
There you
one.
go.
Jeremiah 49:12 says, For thus saith Yahweh thy power, behold, that they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken.
Yeah.
And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished?
Come on.
Right. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it, because we drank of the cup from the jump. So as you say, the elect, they're going to go with the program. We're used to it. We're used to taking these L's.
Come on.
With W's always at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. But we've been taking L's, and so that's hardened us, as I mentioned about be hardened as soldiers, endure as good soldiers, endure hardship as a good soldier. So that was the most high. Yeah, that was what the most High put us through. And 13 says, For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh thy power, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse.
Yeah.
And all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste.
And who's talking?